It's mailbag time here on the Raiders Report, and every single question that you see was filmed Thursday before the Colorado and NDSU watch party that we did. If you want to get those questions, comments on the show, use hashtag Raiders or Super Chat, and every question that you see from today's show is from a loyal subscriber. So if you're like, Mitch, how do I get my questions on the Raiders Report? Oh, glad you asked. You got to hit that subscribe button. Let's go to Tayuno Raider, who literally got my name tattooed on his arm today. I'm just telling you. Grade the 53 in the practice squad, and what position would you add? I would say the Raiders' 53-man roster, based on the decisions that the team made, I'll give it a B. There were some decisions I agreed with, some that I didn't. Like, according to Aaron Wilson, Brandon Faison is no longer a member of the Las Vegas Raiders. They got with an injury settlement on him, and so that was something that I was saying, like, they should have done a little bit a while ago. The practice squad, they just brought back MJ Devonshire. Today, they have 16 players. They're allowed to add one more. If I'm the member, if I'm the Raiders right now, I'm trying to go out and I'm trying to add an outside veteran corner, somebody like an Xavier Howard, because, yes, they do have Darnay Holmes. He's still just an inside player. And I know they have Jacorian Bennett, but you have enough money. Even if it's got to be an Adoree Jackson, it's got to be somebody to add on to the outside, maybe even a Patrick Peterson, put him back there as a safety. We need somebody else there in the secondary. And then on top of that, I'd probably also try to go out and add an edge, maybe a defensive tackle, but the options aren't great. I'd have to look at some of the extra names out there. Let's go to Thugador. What's up, my brother? Even if we aren't in the top 5 during the draft, do you think we should trade up for Sanders if our quarterback play is bad this season? And the only reason why I'm going to say no is because I don't think that the Raiders are going to be in a spot where they're worse than they were last season. And I'm not afraid to say it. I believe that the Raiders are better this year because there's no way you're going to have worse quarterback play. Like, I know people are panicking about Gardner. People are panicking about AOC. Whoever the Raiders quarterback is, it's going to be better than what it was last season. That I can guarantee you. So the fact that we went 8-9 last season, I'm expecting to win 9 games this season, which doesn't put you in a position to trade up. And because I'm so confident about our defense, to me, the Raiders aren't a team that would go out and draft a QB. To me, they'd be somebody, and if he's available, whether you like to hear it or not, hush, hush, I think it's Dak Prescott. I think Dak Prescott would be the answer. But, like, until Gardner, until Aidan go out and prove that they can't do it for an entire season, you got to give them the benefit of the doubt. My man, Ed Robbins. Mitch, I am so over Sanders and all of his family drama. Let's look at the really athletic QB, Fafita, from U of A. I mean, this is a quarterback that I almost feel like we have to do a watch party for. Chuggs has been talking about him a bunch. You've been talking about him a bunch. Quite frankly, and I've said it before where I'm kind of out on Shedeur Sanders, but I'm going to ask this question here to the nation. It's going to be the pinned comment. Do you want Shedeur Sanders to be the Raiders quarterback? Give me a yes. Give me a no. Let me know what you're thinking down below in the comments. After this YouTube ad break, it's going to be my answer. As much as I think it's fun to entertain the idea of the Raiders going out and getting Shedeur Sanders, it's not the quarterback that I want to draft. To me, Antonio Pierce, the team that he's building a team where it's Raiders first, that name on your back is second. I'm sorry, Shedeur's not a leader of men. And that was one of my biggest reasons why I didn't agree with the idea of bringing in Josh McDaniels. If you can't be a leader of men at the quarterback position or as a head coach, I don't really think that you're going to be able to make it into the NFL. On top of that, if his last name wasn't Sanders, we're talking about a 4-8 quarterback that threw 27 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. The only reason why we're talking about him where we are is because of his last name. And then the other part of that is, like, I want the Raiders to make the playoffs. I want the Raiders to win football games this season. I don't care if it's Gardner Minshew, Aidan O'Connell, Mickey Mouse, Carter Bradley. I want the Raiders to go to the playoffs. And if they go to the playoffs, you're not going to have an opportunity to go out and get Shedeur. Let's see what these two guys got. And because this defense is a Super Bowl caliber defense, I could go out and see them getting a veteran, maybe a Dak, maybe a Kirk Cousins, or you want to look at some other quarterbacks in the draft, Cam Ward, Jalen Milroe. Those are the two guys that I like right now. Let's go to Victoria B. I'd much rather overpay for Dak Prescott than trade the farm for Shedeur Sanders. I agree, Victoria. I agree. And I don't even like the idea of paying Dak Prescott 60, 65 mil. If you're going to pay a quarterback 65 mil, you better have confidence that they can get it done in the playoffs. I have no confidence that Dak can get it done in the playoffs. I think Dak makes us one of the best regular season teams in the NFL, but I also am so out on the idea of trading your farm for Shedeur Sanders because a lot of other stuff's going to come with it. Now, the selfish part of me, and I'm not afraid to say this, Like me being a Raiders content creator, I know for a fact, Chuggs knows for a fact, honestly, it would help us out. It would probably be able to put a nicer roof over our head, better food on our table, maybe more food on the table. But, like, it's not really what I want personally. Let's go to Dave. What's up, man? Saw Byron Young already got claimed. Did we make the right move cutting him? Yes. I mean, you did. The effort wasn't there. The talent wasn't there. And you got to think about what the Philadelphia Eagles are. The Philadelphia Eagles are a team that looks at defensive tackles from the SEC, and that's an organization that goes, I think that I can make that work. But you know what? Here's the thing. I bet, do you think Antonio Pierce is a good defensive-minded coach? If you answer yes to that, okay. Do you think Patrick Graham is a good defensive-minded coach? Yeah, I think so. Rob Leonard, do you think that he's a good defensive line coach? Yeah, all right, yeah, I think that. If Byron Young can't get it done and those are your three coaches, it's not a Raiders problem. It's a Byron Young problem. And Byron might go to another team and he might have a little bit of success, but he's never going to be worth a third-round pick. That I can guarantee you. If you want wall-to-wall coverage here around the Raiders, hit that subscribe button, turn on those notifications right now. We're going to be doing watch parties for all Raiders games. We're going to be doing watch parties for Thursday night football games. And you know what? If you guys want us to go live for a random college football game, like, I don't know, Colorado against NDSU, if you didn't watch the live stream, make sure you tune in next week when Jeremy goes live on Thursday for Chiefs-Ravens. I don't like the Ravens, but I will be rooting for them next Thursday. Tune in, watch that show with us. Let's go to Cousin. What's up, Cousin? I wish the Raiders would have got Josh Dobbs before the Niners. Josh Dobbs is not better than Gardner Minshew. Quite frankly, Josh Dobbs and Aidan O'Connell, I might take Dobbs over Aidan. I'm not going to lie to y'all. But, like, I would still rather let's see what Minshew can do. And Minshew's not a sexy QB. Well, I shouldn't say that. Sexy QB, right? But he might not be the sexy QB that you're looking for in terms of going out there and getting it done to translate to wins. But, like, I don't give a shit, right? Gardner Minshew last year was 7-6 with a team that was way worse than what the Raiders have right now. He's just somebody that year in and year out always proves people wrong. Why do we not support a player like that? Why are we not going out and saying, hey, this is the best quarterback that the Raiders have had in the last, 2 seasons? Like, that's not true. Definitely better than what the Raiders had last season. Derek Carr with Josh McDaniels, I think is exactly what you're probably going to get with Gardner Minshew this season. Let's go to Javier. What's up, my man? Any chance on signing Xavier Howard? I want to say yes. But at the same time, I just think that the Raiders are so comfortable with their current cornerback room, and I think that they're looking at a lot of the money that they have right now, and they're trying to figure out, do they give that money to extensions like a Trevon Merrick, a Robert Spillane, a Nate Hobbs, a Malcolm Kuntz, a Divine Diablo? Do they want to give extra years to Colton Miller, who's got $0 million guaranteed on his contract? Tom Telesco said this, and he's stayed true to it. He wants to do right by his guys. And there's so many big-time free agents next offseason that I think they kind of want to lock in some guys this year. Or if you carry over some of that extra salary cap space, then you have more money to spend next season, which I think the Raiders know that they're not going to win a Super Bowl this year. I think they're going to be good. I don't think that they're a team that's good enough truly to win a Super Bowl yet. But, like, next season, if you add a great quarterback and you save some of that money, then you know what? Because this team is a QB away from being a legit Super Bowl contender, in my opinion. If anybody wants to hang out with Jeremy, Chuggs, and I next weekend, it's already here. Raiders, Chargers, Week 1 watch party. It's free to come to. It's chatsports.com/week1. And I'm telling you, family-friendly event. There's going to be hundreds of Raiders fans there. If you're on the East Coast, I've been saying this, not even East Coast. If you're not making it out to SoFi Stadium to watch the Raiders live, you better be here. Durham, North Carolina, Cary, North Carolina. Chuggs and I are going to be partying it up. If you have a good time watching us live during a Raiders Report watch party, I think you're going to have a good time with us in person. I actually think that Chuggs and I are better in person. Giggity. Back Then Bar and Grill is the name. My dad's going to be there. My mom might be there. There's going to be some awesome raffles that if you show up, that's all you have to do. If you show up, you have a chance to win a bunch of prizes already provided by our awesome group here, which it's a North Carolina Raiders group. And I think Raider Nation always supports their own. If you're a believer that, I don't care who you are, what you look like, what your skin color is, what your accent is. If you're like, you could be purple, it doesn't matter. You're a Raider fan, you're a part of my family, you're a real one. And I think that that's why I love the Nation, because you got silver and black on, that's a family member to me. And this group here is a group that I met, Daryl, shout out to him, back in 2019 out in Oakland. He's like, I want you and Chuggs. we're able to open up this back den bar and grill, and I want you to come party with us and really get it kicked off with the nation. If that's not a reason to pull up, then you're not a real one to me. Chatsports.com/week1. Let's go to Nicholas Romero. What's up, man? Watch Ole Miss for Dart. Watch Georgia for Beck. Watch Texas for Ewers. And watch Alabama for Milroe so we can see how they look for the Raiders. You're missing one key one. Cameron Ward from Miami. But I think like a lot of these QBs are absolutely on my watch list. I'm not huge on Ewers. I'll be real with y'all. Milroe is going to be a very intriguing quarterback to me to see how he kind of reminds me of Jalen Hurts, where Jalen Hurts, Alabama, when he first started playing college football, they were like, we don't want him to throw the football. Like at Oklahoma even, they were like, I don't really want him to throw a football. And then he got better and better and better. Now in the NFL, he's one of the better quarterbacks in the league. Questionable top 10 QB. I'm not afraid to say that. Questionable top 10 QB. But he was able to get it done and got better and better. I think Jalen Milroe could have a very similar path. Carson Beck, I need to see it. Ewers got all talent in the world, scares the hell out of me. Cam Ward, I'm telling y'all. J-Man the Great. Who has a better year, Tre Tucker or Mayer? I'm guessing it's Michael Mayer, not Myers. We always get that one. This is such a difficult question because I think that Tre Tucker ends the season with more total yards, where rushing, receiving on the offensive side, Tre Tucker's also going to help us out in special teams. But like Mayer's going to be a really good player for the Raiders that might do some things that are ugly, that don't fill up the box score. And if you're a box score watcher and that's it, you might not see the impact that Mayer's making on a weekly basis. But he's going to be a player that they're going to use a lot in 12 personnel. I don't want to say he's the better blocker than Bowers. He's got that extra year of NFL experience. He's also lost some weight. And because Bowers is that dude, people don't appreciate how good Michael Mayer is. But like, from a fantasy football, like, stat standpoint, the answer is probably Tre Tucker. The bigger impact, though, I'll probably still say Tre Tucker for special teams. But you know what? Who has the better season for the Las Vegas Raiders? I want you to type 11 for Tre Tucker or 87 for Michael Mayer. Mayer's going to have a good year. He's going to probably be more important in the red zone. But from the 20s, I'm going to bet on Tre Tucker, the pre-snap motion Tucker. But it's close. I actually think that this is a lot closer than what the answers are going to be. Let's go to Raider Prime. What's up, man? Despite Shedeur being how he is, if he balls, do we draft him? I mean, here's the thing. Like, you want me to be honest with y'all? I think Shedeur Sanders is going to be the starting quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys next season. I find it weird that Dallas has not gotten a brand new deal done with Dak. That Dak, I think, is actually going to be a quarterback that hits the market in free agency next season. And, like, Deion's connections with Dallas, Jerry Jones cares about this. And why would you? Okay, if I'm Jerry Jones, I'm thinking, I'm as old as I am. And if there's ever a chance where he might, I don't think he's going to sell the Cowboys. He's just going to give it, to his family. But if he's trying to boost the value of the Cowboys, which is what Jerry Jones likes to do, am I going to pay $65 million to Dak Prescott? Or am I going to let somebody else pay $65 million to Dak? And I'm just going to figure out every way in the hell to draft Shedeur Sanders, a quarterback that also Deion has come out and said, my son's only going to play for certain teams. If I'm Deion, I'm talking to Jerry and I go, if you make my son the Cowboys quarterback, we will make that team more money than you have ever made. Jerry's eyes are lighting up. I think he's going to be a quarterback of the Cowboys next season. I really do. I don't think that the Raiders are in line for him. My jersey will bring the nation good luck this season. Bet. I'll wear it every game day. Let's freaking go. Priority delivery. Well, I'll tell you this. I will tell my shipping team here to do priority delivery, but I can't guarantee that it's going to get it done. I can't guarantee that it's going to. I will tell them. I'll put a note on it, but I can't guarantee that it'll get done. Shout out to OC. Autumn, are you worried about the defense after their preseason games? Yes and no, right? Like, I think that I'm a passionate fan, and I think a lot of Raiders fans are passionate fans because you expect to see what you put out, right? Like, we're excited for a preseason game. I'm fired up for preseason football, and I'm treating it like a real game where, sometimes those starters go out there, and they go out there not to get hurt, where second, third, fourth stringers are going out there, and they're playing for jobs. And it's that different level. I think everybody in the NFL is such an amazing athlete that when you just have that little bit of a difference, you can hit the panic button. I'll also say this, though. Did the Raiders lose a preseason game with Josh McDaniels? I mean, I know that one year they went 4-0, I don't remember if they went undefeated last season in the preseason, but like preseason football can scare a lot of people. But preseason football can also get you overexcited. I believe that this is such a good defense and that the Raiders do have a lot of talent on that offense and the quarterback's the lacking spot there. I'm keeping hope until hope gets sucked away from me, man. If you want to get more questions here on the show, you can always hit me up on Instagram. You can always hit me up on Twitter as well. I'm at Mitchell Renz 365. But also, man, don't be afraid to hit up Chuggs because Chuggs is going live next week. I have a wedding. Dave, I love you. I'm proud to be one of your groomsmen. But whoever has a wedding on the kickoff of NFL season, shame on you. Shame on you, bro. I'm telling you that right now. So Chuggs is going to be holding it down. We're also going to have another producer here. His name's Smitty. You guys have seen him maybe on Celtics here at Chat Sports. They're going to be holding it down. So make sure you guys are ready for an eventful week here on the Raiders Report.